Welcome, everyone. Welcome to a new interview. And today we're going to have a conversation with the CEO of Wanchain, which is Jack Liu. He's been in the crypto space for a certain amount of time, and they are trying to become an interoperability platform in which they try to connect every platform. I'm going to discuss this all with him so we can head to the interview and enjoy. All right, as I've just said, welcome Jack Liu to this interview, the co-founder of Wanchain. It's my pleasure to invite you to this conversation. How are you doing, Jack, today?
Very good. Thank you. Nice to be here, Michael.
So, before we're going to discuss the project that you have on the screen in the back of you, which is Wanchain, I first would love to ask what have brought you into the blockchain space and what is your entire background in itself before you came into the blockchain world?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I grew up in China. I came to the United States in 1996 to study economics and computer science. At that time, it was the boom year of the internet, right? And I jumped right into it, and I became the software engineer in the internet space for almost 20 years, right? And I came to a city called Austin, Texas, in 2010. The city is called by Elon Musk. He recently moved over here and called this one of the biggest, greatest city in the future, right? It's very high tech oriented, and it's called Silicon Hill, right? And I got a chance to meet with a lot of crypto guys, and I got lucky to discover Bitcoin in the early days in 2012, and I jumped into the code and did a lot of experiment or coding around it, and also experienced many other things like mining. I set up the Bitcoin mining in my home, right? And also I was lucky to get to know the crypto guys locally, and doing some investments in the early days. And I was very lucky to find out the get involved in the Ethereum project in the early days, even before it got started, right? And and also I was a co-founder, as you mentioned, co-founder and the CTO of another crypto project in 2014 called Factum over here, right? And I travel around the world and get to know a lot of big guys. And actually, Vitalik was the advisor on my project, right? And also in 2016, I got some investment opportunities in China. I realized that China is the biggest market, for probably very unique, right, in the crypto space. And I decided to start my own company called WAN Glue, right? And mainly we focus on the enterprise solutions for the interoperability and also privacy, and how to get connected with all these enterprise consortium chains, right? And later on, we use some of these technologies, including interoperability and also privacy protection of the blockchain transactions, to launch the Wanchain project. That was in 2017.
And if I may ask, and I'm fast forwarding to what's happening nowadays, I feel that during 2017, there was lots of hype surrounding all the projects from Asia. I mean, OneChain, Neo,
Yeah,
Icon, were
yeah.
having lots of hype. However, recently, I don't hear too much about those projects as they are just price wise not moving at all. Did something shift in that part of the world regarding crypto, or is it just lagging behind?
Well, I think in 2017 or 2018, a lot of crazy things happened, right? A lot of projects and come and go, right? And some of them may just get out of the original path, right? We originally set up this interoperability alliance with many of the projects in the space, but it's very tough. I mean, to get the interoperability working between different chains, the technology is tough, and it's difficult to get everything work, right? We are one of the projects that actually stick to our original vision, and we deliver everything we promised to the community. And we continue to work on the interoperability things, and we have made a great stride so far. Yeah.
Yeah, you have mentioned the core focus of Wanchain, which is interoperability. Could you describe what the actual vision is of Wanchain, as it wants to connect the entire infrastructure and to make it interoperable between every platform in itself? And what has happened with Wanchain in the last 4 years, as it's around for or some time already? Could you maybe
Yeah.
elaborate some about the past and what the vision and mission is of Wanchain?
Yeah. WAN stands for Wide Area Network, right? We want to connect with multiple chains to create a network of blockchains. That was our original vision. And in 2017, we took the code base from Ethereum, right? And also add privacy to it, privacy protection to it. And also we created our own proof of stake, and called Galaxy Consensus. And of course, our main focus is to connect with other blockchains, right? In 2017, 2018, 2019, gradually we connect with Ethereum first, then Bitcoin, then EOS, right? And then later on, we improve our interoperability technology to make it more flexible and more secure and more decentralized, and most importantly, right? So recently we launched this multi-chain, universal multi-chain bridge, right? So that we can connect with multiple chains, and asset can be moved around in multiple chains. User won't be able to feel the technologies behind it. I think that's the ultimate goal we're getting. Of course, this is we are in the middle of that. Our vision is to get all the chains, not only the public chains, but also the private chains, right? So we will be able to connect with all these different blockchains technologies and make it seamlessly connect, just like the internet, right? We call it Internet of Blockchains. Right now, all these blockchains in silos, they cannot talk to each other, both for public chains and private chains. But eventually, we'll get all of them connected, right? You can send Bitcoin or send Ethers through different networks, right? And the user will be able to use the tools into different chains, and also the financial assets from the traditional financial world, they will be moved onto blockchains as well, right? Maybe on the consortium chains, or they will be moved onto public chains. Eventually, they'll all be connecting to one web, like internet.
Well, you have just mentioned the traditional financial markets, and lots of stuff has been happening in the past 12 months with QE and all the money printing that's happening as well. What is your take on the current financial infrastructure or financial monetary systems right now?
Yeah, I've been in the financial space for a period of time, working for one of the top securities companies in the world, right? I know that currently, all the financial services are provided in a centralized way, right? And also it's trust-based, right? People have to trust the organization in order to conduct all these financial transactions. And it's very, very expensive, right? When I work with those financial institutions, they, spend so much money on their buildings, and also, they wear probably the best suits, right? And they're very, very expensive, right? And they're, I think right now they are looking into blockchain technologies, right? Every financial institutions I know, they have invest and or organize a team to look and implement and try different blockchain technologies. And I think the centralized services are moving into decentralized or semi-decentralized way to blockchainize all the traditional financial services. And the QE you mentioned that I think that's one of the reasons that so many people are moving into blockchain space, especially the Bitcoin ethers, in the past, few months. I think that's a big concern for many of the average users, right? I think that's one of the reasons I joined this space, is that we need to create an alternative, right, for people to have a way to invest their money, feel safe, and also, have different ways of managing their assets. So I think that's why I'm very optimistic about this crypto space in the coming years.
Yeah, I have to fully agree that because of everything that's happening with the corona pandemic and QE, that's actually pushing people into alternative assets, and Bitcoin and Ethereum are coming in that way, as that grants a beautiful opportunity for people to save their money and keep their purchasing power over time. However, Bitcoin and Ethereum has some issues, which is called scalability. And I guess that's where Wanchain is coming in, as Ethereum is having those bugs, and we recently saw it with DeFi and NFTs. Where is Wanchain fitting in this entire infrastructure, and what is Wanchain trying to achieve? As you've mentioned interoperability by yourself, but in what way could Wanchain give that additional layer to the crypto space, or at least those platforms?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. First of all, Wanchain will be able to connect all these different chains, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, and let's say Polkadot, or other hot, let's say DeFi hot chains, right? But certainly, majority of the DeFi activities are happening on Ethereum, and that's why the gas fees are crazy, right? In the past few months, and it's not usable for average users. Only for the big guys, big whales, they can use Ethereum, right? So we came up with different solutions. Like, say, first of all, we will connect with, let's say, Ethereum into another chain. For example, right, Binance, smart contract chain, BSC, or other chains, right? Or Wanchain, right? Allow users to move those, DeFi activities into other, DeFi hot spaces as well, right? It's like when you have New York, you can have London, you can have Singapore, Shanghai, right? And then we'll build bridges into all those different financial centers, right? That's one area. And the other one is we will create a layer 2 solution. We're about to roll out that solution very quickly. So to alleviate the high gas fee problem on Ethereum, right? So I know that there are many competing L2 solutions and layer 2 solutions, but our solution is very unique. We'll be utilizing the existing infrastructure we have, right? Or we call cross-chain bridges technologies we have, right? So user will be able to seamlessly move their assets from Ethereum onto Wanchain into, we call layer 2 solution, and conduct all the activities there, and they can move it back onto Ethereum whenever they choose to, right? So with combination of both these two solutions to the end users, I think it will be very, very user friendly for users to move their assets. Of course, we have to partner with certain DeFi applications. It's up to them to choose which solution they want to use. So for users, they will benefit a lot, right? So I mean, for the financial activities, whenever there's hot or high yielding activities happening, right? User will be able to quickly move those assets in a decentralized way into those hot DeFi space and earn money, all right? And then they can move back to wherever other places they would like to. And the user will have complete control of their assets. Not like today, right? They have to rely on centralized services, but going forward, they can rely on this network or this infrastructure to fully control their own assets and choose whenever they want to.
Yeah, you've mentioned that essentially this is a layer 2 solution in which you are seeking for that scalability that's currently not around in the crypto space, and actually pushing back the actual progress of mass adoption. But you've also mentioned that there are other platforms with second layer solutions and also interoperability solutions. We know Atom, we know Matic, many of those solutions. In what way does Wanchain differ from those solutions? Are there any differences?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. As I mentioned, our layer 2 solution, which is a separate solution from interoperability, it is utilizing our interoperability, basically cross-chain bridge technology. But it's a separate solution we'll roll out very soon. We actually have our own roll-up solution, right? A little bit different from the other roll-up technology you mentioned, like optimistic or zk rollup, all those things. We actually utilize our cross-chain technology. That's the difference, right? And also it will be more user friendly. They don't have to wait for a long time. Usually they can wait just tens of minutes, and they can move the assets back and forth. It will be a lot more user friendly, right? And when you talk about competing interoperability projects, I know that since the beginning, many other projects along with us are competing in the space, right? Including Polkadot and Cosmo and Aeon and Icon you mentioned, right? And we are so far we are the only one that actually deliver a fully decentralized and permissionless solution, cross-chain interoperability solution that actually works, right? And we are probably the pioneer that we are continuously improve the technology and make it. We recently launched this called a universal multi-chain bridge with shared collaterals, right? And it's very flexible, and I would say it's pragmatic, right? And it's high efficient and high very secure cross-chain solution, and it is very usable. Right? And many of the users who tried our solution, it's very easy to do. And also we have this called the two-way bridge and also a direct bridge, right? As I mentioned, that we recently launched a direct bridge from Bitcoin to Ethereum, right? User will be able to connect these two bridges utilizing the same infrastructure. They can move a Bitcoin to Ethereum. And actually, I was the first one to actually move the first Bitcoin from a Bitcoin network into Ethereum just a few days ago. Right. So with this technology, I'm very confident that we will have a very competitive advantage in this space.
So you've mentioned the Bitcoin ETH bridge, and I guess it's about 3 weeks ago that you've launched the bridge in itself,
Mm-hmm.
which is beneficial for the markets. But for somebody who doesn't know how this works, if there is a Bitcoin ETH bridge, am I able to use my Bitcoin on the ETH network, or how does it work? As in, both of the chains have scalability issues, simply put. So what is the definition of a decentralized Bitcoin ETH bridge, and how can someone who's using Bitcoin or ETH benefit from it?
Right. So as we have implemented in the past, right, a lot of projects utilize this hub and spoke model, right? So typically we use one chain as a hub, let's say for one chain as a hub, right? We will move other assets onto one chain first. For example, Bitcoin to one chain first, and then move Bitcoin onto Ethereum. So more like a router, right? This is more very efficient for majority of the cases, but for some cases, for example, Bitcoin, Ethereum, people would like to move the assets directly from Bitcoin to Ethereum to cut this router in the middle, right? Mm-hmm. It's mainly for the convenience, right? Certainly, you mentioned about scalability for these two different chains, but there will be enough demand from our industry. They want to use these direct chain so that they don't have to route it twice, right? I think it's up to the users, right? If they want to move Bitcoin into other chain like BSC or Wanchain, to have less gas fees, they're welcome to do so, right? Our technology offer this whole infrastructure for them, so user they can pick to where to move their assets and participate in the high yielding, low cost, DeFi DeFi activities.
Yeah, you've mentioned the usage of Wanchain as a router. However, we also know that there are different projects around, which is Ren Bitcoin, a W Bitcoin. They have the same sort of solution, or they are trying to become a similar solution as Wanchain is. The same question is here for this entire concept. In what way does Wanchain differ from those projects?
Right. WBTC and several other projects that, like I mentioned, right? They are working on the same space. They want to, move Bitcoins around to participate in the DeFi space, right? But unfortunately, many of them didn't continue on this journey, and some of them didn't have the solution ready yet. They basically use the centralized way to manage all those locked assets, right? So far, they haven't got a fully functional solution yet to move the Bitcoins onto Ethereum or other chains in a decentralized way. And I think we are the first one to offer a fully decentralized and also permissionless, a bridge, allow users to trust the network instead of the party or certain project. To manage their assets, right? I think that is very, very important for our space. Certainly, everybody is moving that into a direction, but we are the first one to deliver this, and we'll continue to improve our technology and make it more secure and of course the bridge wider and continue to offer the best solution for our users.
Oh, there's also another threat, I guess, and that is, well, basically the push towards interoperability begins with Ethereum not having the scalability that everybody is seeking for. So now the eyes are open to have more interoperability, right? That's why Wanchain or Atom or Polkadot, all those other platforms are getting their momentum right now. What do you believe is going to happen if Ethereum fixes the scalability issues? Are we still seeking for interoperability, or are we going back into Ethereum fully as what it used to be?
Yeah, certainly we all expect that Ethereum will improve its scalability issue, right, and lower the gas fee, hopefully, right? But as I use the analogy as a financial centers, right? We have New York, but we can also have London and Hong Kong and those different financial centers, right? And then it will happen, right? And people will have more choices. And when everybody's going to New York, of course, everything's going to be expensive. That won't change, right? Of course. That's why when and also people live in different communities, right? With different chains, one chain cannot, take all the DeFi activities. That's just not possible, right? And our whole community or whole industry will expand into different industry specific areas, or some local specific areas, right? And all these different chains, they will pop up here and there, right? And that all of them will require interoperability. I think that's just the inevitable. I mean, everybody saw that, right? When they said, "Oh yeah, this siloed, islands. We need to get them connected." I think years ago, everybody saw that issue, right? Eventually, I believe that all the chains will be connected, and it's a requirement, right? And as we see it today, right? Ethereum, suddenly the gas fee is so high, then everybody want to move to other places, and I think that's just inevitable. That interoperability technology is a requirement, right? Just like internet.
Mm-hmm. And we have just, I fully agree on this standpoint. I'm also not a maximalist to any coin. I am quite open to everything, and I just hope it integrate with each other. But we've also mentioned the Bitcoin ETH bridge, and there's way more coins out there. Are you looking to add more bridges? For instance, XRP, which basically try to become certain things like that. Are you going to add XRP, or are you going to add other cryptocurrencies to the bridges as well?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. We have actually integrated EOS, right, a while back, and we will add that into our multi-chain bridge, right? And XRP actually we already implemented and our testnet, right? And we will launch that to mainnet very soon, probably by the end of this month. Um, and many other chains that we're working on, Polkadot, and we are working on many other, Ethereum based family chains like BSC, like I mentioned, and also we are working on Bitcoin family, like Litecoin or Bitcoin Cash or many other chains. Right, we will integrate many chains as soon as we can. Once we figure out this our framework, we call our multi-chain universal multi-chain bridge, and we are very confident with this technology. Now we can expand that into different chains in a very quickly fashion.
Well, you've mentioned XRP and all those other coins as well. And as I said, I'm quite open to most of the crypto world, but XRP is a different topic. And I know quite sure that my listeners have the same view. But in what way does XRP fit into the ideology of Wanchain? As in, the XRP is getting sued by the SEC right now. It might become a currency. What is your standpoint on that topic? And how does it fit into Wanchain?
Yeah, actually, we made the XRP decision a while back, right? It was a
Before the all
community-based, yeah, before the community-based decision, and we have worked on this for a while, right? I know that SEC is after many of the, famous projects. I'm sure majority of them they just settle, right? They find a solution and figure things out. And recently, as you mentioned that things are going in a good direction, and I'm certainly hope, right? XRP will find a good way and come out strong, right? And I think we pick XRP because XRP has a very strong community, and everybody we have met, they are very passionate about XRP and their
Yes.
ecosystem, right? Yeah, and recently we did a AMA with this launch of our testnet XRP bridge, and they are so enthusiastic about this coming bridge, right? They are so happy that XRP can get out this isolated network, and they can participate in the Ethereum or other DeFi space, and they're so excited about it. I'm sure that with the addition of XRP, and many of the DeFi space will be excited about this as well, right? And in the future, hopefully, we can move some of the assets onto XRP, ecosystem as well, as long as their ecosystem can support other assets and can have additional features. That will be something that we can look for in the future.
Well, I agree. The XRP community is very intense, and they are in love with XRP.
Certainly.
We have it. Well, XRP has a story with regulators right now. I hope, and definitely, I hope for the investors that they settle down and then we can just move on. But it's also an interesting topic right now in current nowadays space is how are we going to fit into the regulatory framework? How is Wanchain going to deal with possible bans or cut downs by governments or acceptation by some governments? Are you working on that, or are you aware of the fact that countries might not really want blockchain in itself? And how are you going to deal with it?
Well, I lived in the U.S. and also in China, right, and back and forth, right? I I know I know a lot about this regulation, the potential risks to the public chain, right? And we are carefully dealing with those, and we are working with regulators in different countries to understand, their attitude toward blockchain technology. I think blockchain technology is so important, right? Every government or every financial institution is looking into, right? And they're just trying to figure out how to regulate this. And they can't just like in the early days of the internet and like e-commerce, right? The government didn't know how to tax that, or they want to give incentives to let the internet or e-commerce grow by itself for a little bit. I think that's the current stage for blockchain, right? There are a lot of areas that the governments or the organizations they don't know how to regulate, or they can't just give out the laws and not mature, right? There has to be a trial period, right? And we as long as we or the the guys in the space, we are very, very careful, right? We're not cross all those boundaries. We try to, do the good things for our community, and also provide the good technologies for our space, right? I think we'll be fine. And also whenever there's a regulation, we'll comply those, right? We'll try to be compliance with them as much as we can, right? So I think that should be the attitude for majority of the public chain projects, and that's what we should do, right? And also the DeFi space, as we know, right? How do you regulate the DeFi projects and all those things? I think it's a ongoing topic for the regulation.
I guess it's going to be a very complex situation for them to regulate anything that is just aligning with NFTs and DeFi. But we've passed the station of bans. So right now we're in the phase where everything is just regulated. And I truly believe that the countries that are proactive are going to be the big winners. So I hope all of those countries will just become that. You mentioned the DeFi space, and right now there is the DeFi space that everybody's trying to get the highest API and just farm every coin and then rug pull it. Where do you think DeFi is going in the future? As in, it has to be the key to mass adoption, right? So how are we going to get there? Where do you see DeFi going in itself?
Yeah, I want to use the internet example again. In the boom years, right? The return for those stocks in the internet related projects is so crazy, right? And we all know they won't last forever, right? And I study economics. I know that for whatever the high yield, right, even 1% higher return, right, the money will flow from the other places, right? It's just inevitable, right? And because crypto space is more like a enclosed and it's in the early stage, certainly, not everybody can get into it easily. So that's why we can have these phenomena, right? And also crypto is very speculative, right? And over the years, in the boom years and also bear years, and especially in the bull years, things can get crazy. And I think it's a good thing for the industry that to attract a lot of money, right? Or resources like developers from the whole industry. And once we have these, I know that I've been working on this DeFi space for a long time. There's not much activity for a long time until that we have this big yield and big incentives. Then just suddenly it exploded, right? So like everybody excited, and it's very good for the industry as a whole to attract resources into it. But once the speed slows, or when the bear year comes, right, and suddenly that high yield will come down, right? And all know that money will flow, by just like water, it will just flow into those areas, and eventually will be coming to more normal ways, right? But I hope that this period, crazy period, will last for longer, right? So that everybody can make more money.
Well, I have to agree there, yeah, but it's not sustainable. And I think that if those high yields stay around, it's going to be a threat for the financial markets like we used to, the classic financial market. It's going to be a threat. But there's also another thing that is pushing mass adoption forward. And that is, in my opinion, UI, just user experience in itself. As right now, if we want to transfer cryptocurrencies, we have to use MetaMask, have private keys, etc., etc. It's quite complex. My parents are not going to use it. They don't understand it. They just barely understand Bitcoin, and I'm talking to them quite often about it. What is Wanchain in itself trying to do to get that mass adoption going? How are you going to make it user-friendly for your clients to use the app or the platform.
Yeah, and yeah, we recognize that problem, right? And that's why we work on this interoperability, right? Bitcoin has different wallet, and then Ethereum has different wallet. You have to understand that the different technologies for mass adoption is so difficult, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were trying to create a platform that user wouldn't be able to know, just like we use our internet applications, right? They can send emails from one app to another, or do many other things. Right? The user don't have to understand the technologies behind it, right? As long as you know that this can be trusted, they will have very good user experience for the user, right? Certainly, this is quite challenging, you know. And as we go along, we found out that to design, very good application with very good user experience, it's quite challenging because of the different technologies behind each chain, that we have to treat things a little bit differently, right? Especially when you deal with a cross chain. But we try to create a tool that you just say convert something, click on one button, and then pick the direction, and then everything just flow, like very easy, right? And also we provide some kind of a web-based tools, right? Just like everybody's familiar with how to use a browser, right? We want to use web-based as well, right? To ease the difficulty. I mean, to reduce the difficulty and make it easier to the old internet-based users. They can click around, and they can use their original wallets to scan and do the cross-chain transactions. And I think overall, DeFi is more complex because they have to control their own keys. I think we have to rely on additional technologies to recover, let's say, recover their keys, or like the hardware wallet, and make it smarter, right? At the end use as the end user to manage their assets in a lot secure way, and also a lot easier way. I think that's the direction we are heading, and I'm very encouraged to see many good technologies coming out every year. And I think once we have our mobile apps ready, and in combination with some of the hardware wallets, or very easy to manage, right? I think mass adoption will be coming very quickly.
Well, I guess it's going to be the cycle where everybody starts to understand DeFi and decentralized systems, as in the previous cycle, it was also rounded on Bitcoin. So it's a very interesting, period of time we are currently in. Finally, Wanchain is progressing a lot right now. We discussed the bridge. We discussed some stuff that you're working on. Is there anything special that is coming around, or what are the next steps for Wanchain after 5.0 to start working on that mass adoption? What can the listeners expect from the project in itself?
Yeah. First of all, as I mentioned, our infrastructure is ready, and now we are targeting mass adoption, right? So we will be integrated with many different chains as soon as we can, and that's step one, right? Step two, we want to resolve this high gas fee problem on the Ethereum. We want to create this layer 2 solution for Ethereum, so that a lot of users on Ethereum, they will be able to utilize this cross-chain technology to solve a lot of high cost issue, right? And also we'll provide some kind of called the instant cross, right? Basically, we'll have additional services like on the bridge, we'll build high-speed trains, right, to allow the assets can be shipped quickly across the bridge, and that kind of solutions are coming. And I think once we connect a web of different blockchains in this WAN network, and user experience will be improved a lot, right? And at the same time, we are working on this enterprise space as well, right? We released this called the T-Bridge, right? Basically trust bridge to integrate with consortium chains, basically send enterprise ledger solutions as well, right? And we announced this state grid, enterprise customers. We have continue with that kind of effort. This is one of the largest companies in the world, right? They would like to upgrade their data management systems across the country, and I think we help them to set up the blockchain technology, and also eventually we'll be able to use our interoperability technology to connect all these enterprise-based solutions like financial provided by financials or non-financial companies, and eventually all those assets like stocks or bonds or NFT or those assets, right? They can be all moved onto more public space and into the public chain, with certainly regulations, and that's the vision I'm seeing, and hopefully Wanchain will bridge all the gaps as the whole industry is moving forward.
Well, it's beautiful that you're not only trying to become the bridge within the crypto space in the blockchain world, but also to the traditional financial markets
Certainly.
and bringing that bridge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you very much. Do you have anything to add to this interview that you want to specify and I didn't mention it?
Yeah, certainly. I really enjoy this journey, right, in the blockchain space. I'm very, very happy for what I've done so far, right? And I really appreciate all the support from the community to support me over the years. And I'm very happy that Wanchain has achieved a lot, right? And I think we will have a bright future in the next few years.
I definitely hope so. Where can we find you on social media, or where can we find more about Wanchain if the listeners want to learn more about the project?
Yeah, you can Google it, right? WAN chain. A lot of people pronounce it as Wanchain, and then sometimes they misspell, right? But WAN, that's the word, and you can find out all the social media information online, and I have my Twitter and Telegram. You can contact me anytime.
Yeah, and definitely for the listeners, it's going to be in the description beneath, so you can just click it on one button there as well.
Certainly, yeah, certainly, yeah. I would really appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you very much for being here, and to all the listeners, thank you very much for watching. It was a pleasure, Jack. I'm wishing you all the best with the project, and also a very, very nice day.
Yeah, pleasure is mine. Thank you so much, Michael. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.